Welcome to Porstein Plays Space Engineers. I'm going to play with YouTuber Splitsy's Survival Less Likely mod. Makes the gameplay quite a bit more challenging. Put a couple other not too meaningful mods in here. Doesn't change the gameplay very much other than what Splitsy did. We will not have the use of jetpacks while on a planet, and we will not be able to refine stone. We also get less oxygen out of ice. So it does make the game a bit more challenging. We'll leave most of the settings alone. Give myself a few more backups here. We'll turn on in-game scripts for programmable blocks. We'll go ahead and enable lightning. You want to make sure to do share inertia tensors if you want rotors and pistons to work right. I think this being my first video, we'll go ahead and start on the Earth-like planet. First view, I can tell we're pretty lucky. The Earth-like planet can be covered in snow, which makes it a little more challenging. This is quite green. It's a bit dark. Looks like we're heading right into nighttime. I don't like this blinking light. We'll go ahead and turn that off. And one other thing I do is I like to turn off the third-person view. We'll rely more on cameras to see outside of any rovers or ships we build. So a lot of first-time players might not know that this pod is capable of being modified to where you can fly it around right off the jump without having to find any stone at all. This will allow us to explore and find a good base location. Something that's near iron and nickel and ice. I do have progression turned on. A lot of players don't care for that, but I don't find it too bothersome. It kind of adds a little something to the gameplay. The pod has several blocks you can grind down and then restore to get your initial start with the progression. Like I just did the landing gear, cargo, and the conveyor port. Crack this thing open and put a remote control and a gyroscope on it before we head out. There is a hydrogen thruster on the bottom that'll give you enough metal grids for a cargo container. I'm interested in the construction components right now. needing this parachute hatch anymore. So I'll put the remote control right here. You want to be careful how you place this. Otherwise, your orientation while you're in the remote control will be all wrong, and that'll make it almost impossible to fly this little pod with up thrust only. You can double check if you put it in right by going in, controlling the remote, checking the orientation of the thrusters. They're all up, so we're good. We can go ahead and get the controls set up on this remote while we're in here. Can't take off until we get a gyroscope on this thing. I might take that light armor plating off later. So I'm trying to get this on the remote control itself. Steal a couple extra parts. Now don't grind that beacon off entirely, because you can repair it later for progression's sake. And you can put your unused parts to clear up your inventory back in places where you got them from. With that, we're ready to go, folks. Ice lake in the distance. They generally have some ores underneath them, but I don't always like living on a lake. I find it can make it a little more difficult, especially in the beginning. You gotta dig into the side to get stone and then reposition later. Depending on what we find, we may or may not settle near that lake. Might as well head over to this unknown signal and grab any resources we can get. Now, as dangerous as this thing is to fly, you want to stay low so that you can pick up on the presence of any ore. Fly around a bit, mark any ores we find. Just like that, got some silicon. Even in the normal game, when you can refine as much stone as you want, silicon can be very handy when you're setting up a solar array. Or a base with a lot of windows. Get that march back on our way. Flying this thing with up thrust only, you'll want to pay attention to your horizontal indicator, or your the line of horizon. if you're dipping underneath it, where the cursor is below the line, you're going to be gaining speed and losing altitude. You take it up, you'll lose speed and gain altitude. If you want to drop altitude without gaining speed, you can hold your down thrust button or turn the thrusters on and off. Let's go see what that rock is. Is that a rock? Yeah, nickel. I figure in this series we'll do quite a few time lapses. So why don't y'all let me grind this signal down and figure out where we're gonna live.
Yeah, emergency pod, barely held together. Short hops left, watching fuel like weather. Scanner blinks, oars not far off. I got limited range, can't afford to call. Quiet world, but the goal is clear. Find the right spot before the hops disappear. No backup wheels, just as lifeline scope. One good base, one reason for hope. Need iron, nickel, cobalt, near a base that's safe, one I can engineer. Settle close, build from what I find. Stretch these jumps and leave nothing behind. Hands in the dust, feeling out the earth. Alien and soil, testing what it's worth. No rover yet, just me and a scan. One step, one resource, that's the plan. Pause the anger, fuels the clock. Make the choice fast, can't afford to block. Gravity's light, but the pressure's real. Every ping's a chance to seal the deal. Need iron, nickel, cobalt, near a base that's safe, one I can engineer. Settle close, build from what I find. Stretch these jumps and leave nothing behind. Stretching a silent dome. This fractured place could become home. One solid side, one careful claim. Turn scattered ore into something that stands. Need iron, nickel, cobalt, near a base that's safe, one I can engineer. Settle close, build from what I find. Stretch these jumps and leave nothing behind.
Try to clear out my inventory real quick. Get started on a hand drill mine. The full assembler has a block planner that's pretty convenient, but you can use your build planner here to make the survival kit, make all the parts you need, and to figure it out on your own. So we can queue up a turbine and a refinery and have to start building those parts. Slope. I'll do this without the destroy mode. Go ahead and get what little stone that surface offers.
Helmets on, pick in hand, stones all I can see. Digging out the first load, base won't build itself for free. Haul it back, stack it high, gotta earn that first line. Blueprints waiting soon, this grid's gonna shine. We're rock bottom starting, digging stone to get it done. Turning gray into gears, first parts under this sun. An engineer can't survive on grit and stubborn pride, one block at a time. Building up from the ground, rock bottom starting. Yeah, we're making our mark. From cold hard stone, lighting up the dark. No refiner yet, just muscle and a plan. Every chunk I haul gets me closer, man. Parts need parts, so I keep grinding stack. First refinery's coming, ain't no turning back. We're rock bottom starting, digging stone to get it done. Turning gray into gears, first parts under this sun. An engineer can't survive on grit and stubborn pride, one block at a time. Building up from the grind, rock bottom starting. Yeah, we're making our mark. From cold hard stone, lighting up the dark. Sweat drips like stars, this base begins small. But a single part's enough to answer the call. Say goodbye to empty, soon things will spin. From stone to structure, let the build begin. Rock bottom starting, now the first frame's in sight. Turn the hall into hope in the dead of night. An engineer can't survive on stone, out in a dream. Built from the ground up, stronger than it seems. Rock bottom starting, watch the progress spark. From
Embrace
cold
both.
hard stone, lighting up the dark. Need iron, nickel, cobalt, near a base that's safe, one I can engineer. Settle close, build from what I find. Stretch these jumps and leave nothing behind. Hands in the dust, feeling out the earth. Alien in soil, testing what it's worth. No rover yet, just me and a scan. One step, one resource, that's the plan. Pause the anger, fuels the clock. Make the choice fast, can't afford to block. Gravity's light, but the pressure's real. Every ping's a chance to seal the deal. Need iron, nickel, cobalt, near a base that's safe, one I can engineer. Settle close, build
Inventory full.
Alright, folks. We are very close to having everything we need to get started on the base, which at first will only consist of a turbine and a refiner. Keep bumping my head in the ceiling, so let's expand the top a little bit.
Inventory full.
This better hand drill has sure made the job a little bit nicer that I found in that unknown signal. You can see we got nickel just off to the left, and we're very close to iron right
Inventory
now.
full.
Just waiting on the last of these motors. Looks like they need some space before they can print. Before you get started building your base, you're going to want to build the turbine up about at least 8 blocks. And so it's really nice to have stairs. If you'll build an interior block, you'll have access to the stair block. This will give us some interior plates to work with. Let's see, where are we going to put this base? I want the lake to be in view. It's nice to have a fairly flat spot. This is pretty flat right here. Yeah, I think this will do. Go pick up the parts for the turbine. To get us started. Longer stairs will get you 2 blocks high for the cost of just 1 interior plate. And 2 blocks out will give you a little bit of a landing place off that platform in case you need to jump down and negotiate the height as you're building it up. Okay, now we need to build up that column. I should have built it up along the way, actually. I'll have to get over to it so I can reach it and put some blocks on it. Should be able to reach it now. This turbine can be hard to place unless you're off to the side a little bit. It's the last couple blocks you want to get out a little ways so you can place that turbine. There we go. I don't want to waste any of these interior plates right now. So we'll drop these and then weld it up without the extra included. All we need is to be operational right now. I'll leave the ramps for now. We'll clean it all up later. And notice the height that I put that on there. If you go any lower than that, you risk not being able to run your refinery. We want to be about 10 blocks up. Just need one more motor. Grab a little bit of stone for that motor and also some extra iron for the refinery. As soon as the refinery's making iron, transfer the iron back to the survival kit for any parts we need.
Inventory
Basic assembler.
full.
Let's make sure it just prints one. One's all we need. Let's grab some iron ore and we'll head over there to build the last of that refinery.
Inventory full.
Go drop off the stone and come back for a little bit more iron.
Inventory full.
Now we should be able to refine both iron and nickel in this refinery. Won't be reliant on the survival kit anymore to process stone. Should be able to get a basic assembler up and running real fast. Just wait a few moments for this iron to cook up. parts for our basic assembler. Got all the iron we need, just need a little bit more nickel.
Inventory full. Energy low.
I think we needed about 16 nickel ingots. So we'll just wait for 16 and we'll head back, print out the last of the parts we need. Might as well take the pod over to the base now. just like that, folks, we got ourselves first little base, refinery, basic assembly. It's all we need to really get started. We'll call that the end of our first episode. Thank you for joining me today.
Stretch these jumps and leave nothing behind.